Wang Lin's pupils contracted. He had noticed long ago that the sword qi controlled by Xun'er from the Ling Tianhou had a strange aura. The moment the sword qi appeared, Wang Lin felt a surge of alarm in his heart. This is the life-bound sword qi of Ling Tianhou. Its power is immense. Zhou Yi's voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin's gaze flickered, and his body halted. He no longer tried to snatch the command token, but instead, coldly fixed his eyes on Xun'er, his hands subtly restraining his immortal art, not releasing it. Xun'er moved with great speed, arriving beside the token in the blink of an eye. His eyes lit up with joy. Although he didn't know what the token was, seeing how much Greedy Wolf valued it, it must be an extraordinary treasure. However, just as he reached out to grab the token, the roar of Greedy Wolf from the mosquito beast swarm sounded once more. Xun'er, you little brat, I will kill you. Death Devourer, third form. The roar of Greedy Wolf was like the thunder of a storm, turning into a series of ripples that seemed to have substance. The sound passed through the mosquito beast swarm, bypassing Wang Lin, and charged directly towards Xun'er. Wang Lin's eyes flashed coldly, and he stepped back a few paces. As he watched the ripples roar through the mosquito beasts, they condensed mid-air, forming into the shape of a small figure. In an instant, the figure became completely translucent. The figure's face bore no resemblance to Greedy Wolf's, yet it emanated a strong aura of Greedy Wolf. Second Primordial Spirit. Wang Lin's eyes locked onto the figure, taking a deep breath. Greedy Wolf was furious, almost consumed by rage. Left with no choice, he released his second Primordial Spirit, yet his true body was still trapped within the mosquito beast swarm. 7 silver needles spun rapidly around him. He could hold his ground for now, but not for long. The mosquito beasts had incredibly tough bodies, especially their mandibles, which seemed to be made of iron. But it wasn't just that. The mosquito beasts seemed to be immortal. Whenever one was killed, it would immediately transform into crimson cloud and retreat. In the blink of an eye, the red cloud would solidify, and the mosquito beast, which should have perished, would be reborn. Although it appeared slightly weaker, it still lunged forward with deadly intent. Once the small figure appeared, it immediately transformed into a bolt of lightning. Its hands formed seals, and a series of black divine thunderbolts appeared around its body, like falling stars, all heading straight for Xun'er. Xun'er's face changed. If he didn't retract his hand reaching for the token, the divine thunder would strike him. But if he abandoned the token, all his efforts would be for nothing. Let's do this. Xun'er gritted his teeth. He immediately unleashed the life-bound sword qi of Ling Tianhou, sending the sword qi out with immense force. The sword qi was so powerful that it caused the abyss wall around them to rumble, sending rocks and dust flying into the air. The divine thunder unleashed by Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit collided with the sword qi as it cut through the air, causing them to explode and disperse in every direction with tremendous force. Wang Lin's forehead, marked with the seal of life, glowed faintly. He stepped back, his gaze unwavering and intense. Having released his master's Ling Tianhou sword qi, Xun'er did not hesitate. He seized the command token, his eyes flashing with wild joy. In an instant, he shot upwards, aiming to flee. Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit howled in fury, attempting to pursue. However, the Ling Tianhou sword qi was too powerful, and with a fragment of Xun'er's consciousness guiding it, it kept blocking the second primordial spirit's advance. The second primordial spirit had no choice but to retreat, afraid to come into contact with the sword qi, which would severely injure it. Greedy Wolf, trapped within the mosquito beast swarm, showed a flicker of resolve and pain in his eyes. With a decisive move, he slapped his storage pouch and pulled out an item, an incense stick, only the length of a finger. The moment the incense appeared, a fragrance spread out. Though it appeared ordinary, the moment Greedy Wolf saw it, his expression turned pained. You young brats force me to use the immortal realm's treasure, heavenly bewitching incense. I will tear your bodies apart. Greedy Wolf gritted his teeth, his left hand sweeping over the incense, igniting it. A wisp of cyan smoke rose into the air. The smoke was eerie. Though thin, it rapidly spread, enveloping all the mosquito beasts. At the same time, Greedy Wolf took advantage of the mist to break free from the mosquito swarm, using its speed to chase after Xun'er. Greedy Wolf Sr., Wang Lin Daoist friend, I will be taking this token. Thank you. Xun'er laughed heartily as he saw the exit in the distance. Wang Lin's lips curled into a cold smile. His gaze fixed on Xun'er's figure in the distance, his eyes gleaming with dark light, and he silently muttered, Set. The power of the inferior immortal art, heaven and earth binding, instantly surrounded the abyss. If a true expert were to observe, they would notice thin threads suddenly appearing in the void. In an instant, these threads wrapped around Xun'er's body, binding him entirely. Xun'er felt his body come to a halt. Even his primordial spirit froze, and the immortal power in his body ceased to flow, as if it had solidified. At that moment, he was completely immobilized, and the command token slipped from his hand. Greedy Wolf was overjoyed. The smoke he released immediately spread, and in the blink of an eye, it enveloped Xun'er. He dashed straight toward the token, aiming to seize it. At that instant, Wang Lin moved. The sword beneath Zhou Yi's feet shot forward, propelling Wang Lin out at lightning speed. The speed of the immortal sword was so fast that even Greedy Wolf's expression changed. Wang Lin, you are not qualified to snatch treasures in front of me. Greedy Wolf was very close to the token, his right hand reaching out to grab it, almost touching it. Wang Lin's gaze flickered, and he softly uttered, Freeze. Greedy Wolf's body stiffened for a moment. Although he quickly regained his composure, the fine threads that had been entangling him in the void shattered. But that brief pause allowed Wang Lin to close the distance at the speed of the immortal sword. In the instant Greedy Wolf's eyes widened, Wang Lin snatched the token from his side and passed by him. Wang Lin, how dare you steal from me? Greedy Wolf's eyes turned bloodshot as he roared and charged forward in a frenzy. Meanwhile, Xun'er had recovered. His face was dark, and surrounded by the smoke, he made a hand seal, attempting to break free. But the smoke blocked his every move, and he couldn't escape. The trio was very close to the exit of the Flame Demon Province. At that moment, Wang Lin, using Zhou Yi's speed, rapidly approached the exit. The sunlight from the outside had already started to shine through. Greedy Wolf was almost insane with rage. He roared and slapped his storage pouch. A massive cauldron immediately flew out. The cauldron was over a person's height, entirely black, engraved with countless runes and beast shapes, emanating a trace of primal energy. Reversal of the universe, heaven and earth turn. Greedy Wolf's voice thundered. The cauldron trembled, and a black light shot out from within. In an instant, this black radiance illuminated the entire world. It was as though heaven and earth had reversed. What was once above became below, and what was below became above. In that split second, the positions of Wang Lin, Xun'er, and Greedy Wolf were reversed. Wang Lin, originally in the front, now found himself in Xun'er's place, surrounded by smoke. As for Xun'er, he appeared where Wang Lin had been. He froze for a moment, his heart trembling in fear. Without hesitation, he bolted straight for the exit. He was terrified. He never expected that Greedy Wolf possessed such an unfathomable treasure. This artifact was too powerful. It could reverse the very universe. When he switched places with Wang Lin, he felt an irresistible divine might that made him feel utterly insignificant in comparison. This Greedy Wolf is truly a powerful figure of the same generation as my master. Though his cultivation is far below my master's, being noticed by my master surely means he has something extraordinary about him. Little did he know, Greedy Wolf never ventured to places without treasures. Over countless years, the treasures he had acquired were comparable to those in any immortal abode. Many of these treasures he couldn't use himself, but Greedy Wolf was exceedingly clever, always wary of others trying to take his things, and would flee immediately if things turned unfavorable. Greedy Wolf, panting heavily, suddenly turned around and fixed his gaze on Wang Lin, who was still surrounded by smoke. With a sinister smile, he took a step forward. Wang Lin inhaled sharply, his gaze locking onto the cauldron. There was a flicker of something strange in his eyes. He recognized it. Without hesitation, he placed the token into his storage pouch. His immortal sword hummed beneath his feet, sending Zhou Yi's divine sense. This is a powerful artifact. Wang Lin, Protect yourself. Zhou Yi's immortal sword flashed, and a sharp sword chi burst forth. As the sword spun, a sword chi storm formed, rapidly expanding and pushing against the smoke that had trapped them. Zhou Yi shouted, "Open!" With a loud crash, a gap appeared in the smoke, and the immortal sword shot through it. Wang Lin's gaze flickered, and he immediately dashed through the gap. This person's cultivation is ordinary, but his collection of artifacts is bizarre and unfathomable. How did he come by so many treasures? After Zhou Yi escaped, he thrust his sword toward Greedy Wolf. Greedy Wolf's eyes gleamed with cold light. He retreated a step and slapped his storage pouch once again. This movement not only halted Zhou Yi's sword strike, but also caused Wang Lin, who was rushing out of the smoke, to hesitate momentarily. Wang Lin, I must thank Situ Nan. Without him, how could I have stayed on the abandoned Vermilion Bird Star for thousands of years? Without those 1,000 years, I would not have understood many of the treasures I once couldn't use. Greedy Wolf raised his right hand, and a folding screen appeared in his palm. He tossed it, and the screen immediately expanded, becoming 10 feet tall. On it was a light ink landscape, with swirling clouds and mist, giving off a celestial aura. I couldn't find the rivers and mountains painting from the immortal realm, but on this screen, I found an imprint of it. Come to me. Greedy Wolf shouted as a tremendous force of suction suddenly erupted from the screen. Zhou Yi's figure emerged from the immortal sword. His face was grim, and with a single motion of his right hand, he unleashed the last 2 strands of his life-bound sword chi without hesitation. Wang Lin's face darkened as he immediately activated his Ling Tianhou sword chi. His body flashed, cutting through the resistance as he rushed towards the bottom of the abyss. Behind him, Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit, surrounded by countless heavenly thunders, pursued relentlessly. What I need to do now is to quickly create some distance, stall for time, and wait for Zhou Yi to return. However, this Greedy Wolf has too many magical artifacts, and I don't know what other strange items are in his storage pouch. Even if Senior Zhou Yi wins, it will probably take some time. Wang Lin furrowed his brows. His sword chi cut through the resistance as he sped downward. Behind him, Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit was in hot pursuit. This second primordial spirit was completely transparent, like a crystal figure, surrounded by black thunder orbs that swiftly circled around it. The resistance from below was shattered one by these circling thunder orbs. His eyes gleamed sharply as he stared intently at Wang Lin in the distance. With a gesture of his right hand, he struck the air. Immediately, 9 thunder orbs split off from his body, lined up like 9 stars in the sky. Like arrows, they broke through the resistance with explosive speed, roaring toward Wang Lin. Thunder! Wang Lin suddenly turned his head, slapped his storage pouch, and the divine chariot flew out from it. In midair, it immediately formed an electrical thunder orb. This orb quickly expanded into a mighty thunder beast. The thunder beast was the immortal beast of lightning. After appearing, it exhaled 2 streams of blue gas. Its massive eyes contained lightning, and with a single sweep, the 9 roaring thunder orbs not only maintained their speed, but became even faster. The thunder beast roared, and instantly, the 9 thunder orbs flickered and were devoured in an instant. Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit's eyes flashed with a sharp gleam. His body wavered, and all the black lightning surrounding him immediately fell like raindrops, charging directly toward Wang Lin and the thunder beast. At the same time, the second primordial spirit slapped his forehead, and a hammer crackling with electricity flew out. He grasped it and swung it downward with a forceful blow. Boom! Thunder exploded as a bolt of lightning shot out from the hammer, like a thunder dragon, its claws reaching out to strike Wang Lin. Wang Lin's gaze flickered as he slapped his storage pouch. An immortal brush appeared in his hand. He took a deep breath and immediately drew across the air. In an instant, 5 symbolic characters appeared, with his essence spirit dividing into 5 strands to fuse into them. Golden characters glowed with piercing brilliance, forming a radiant light as bright as the sun. At that moment, the thunder dragon roared as it rushed toward him. The 2 forces collided in midair. Boom! A deafening crash echoed, and the abyss wall around them immediately crumbled, with debris soaring upward from the force. In that instant, Even the resistance from below lessened. The symbolic energy dispersed into 5 divine senses, returning to Wang Lin's body. He staggered, his face pale, but without saying a word, he sped downward once more. The Thunder Dragon remained unchanged, frozen midair, and with a push from the resistance, countless golden cracks appeared on it, and it collapsed. As for the Thunder Beast, it was not at all displeased by devouring the incoming divine lightning, even swallowing the remnants of the collapsing Thunder Dragon. It then looked at Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit with a provocation before sinking lower and chasing after Wang Lin. Vile creature! Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit's eyes flashed with coldness as he rasped. He swung his thunder awl, and red light immediately condensed on it. His body stepped forward, and as he continued the chase, the red light on the thunder hammer grew more intense, eventually emanating a blood-red glow. Wang Lin felt a thick thunder might emanating from behind, and even his hair seemed to spark with faint electrical energy. The Thunder Beast beside him looked serious, its giant eyes occasionally glancing back, low growls rumbling from its mouth. What kind of spiritual body is Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit? Wang Lin's face darkened. The resistance below him was growing stronger, but with the power of Ling Tianho's sword qi, Wang Lin wielded it without any hindrance, speeding like a thunderstorm. Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit kept hot on his tail. The two of them engaged in a tug-of-war, descending deeper and deeper. Gradually, as their speed increased, the distance to the deeper parts of the abyss grew closer. However, the resistance here was extraordinarily strong, causing their speed to slow. Immortal Destruction Thunder. Greedy Wolf's second primordial spirit slowly spoke. With a sweep of his thunder hammer, the red light on it exploded, transforming into a crimson lightning bolt that howled not toward Wang Lin and the Thunder Beast, but instead burrowed into the abyss wall with a loud crash. Wang Lin's pupils constricted, and a sudden sense of danger overtook him. Without hesitation, he grabbed the Thunder Beast and stored it in his pouch. At the same time, the seal of life quickly appeared on his body. He gritted his teeth and pulled out a handful of blood jade talismans from his pouch, shattering them all. These blood jade talismans came from Yao Shishue, and as soon as they were shattered, a thick blood light immediately surrounded him, forming layer upon layer of protection. Just as Wang Lin finished this, he saw flashes of red light appear in the abyss walls on both sides, and numerous crimson light spots suddenly appeared within the walls. The light points grew larger and more numerous, quickly transforming into streaks of crimson lightning that exploded out from the wall. The electric arcs howled and intertwined, forming a red lightning net in an instant. The blood-red glow surrounding Wang Lin's body was immediately pierced by the countless flashes of lightning, making loud popping sounds. Several of the lightning strikes even landed directly on him, but were blocked by the seal of life. Wang Lin's expression darkened further. He slapped his storage pouch, and immediately, the 3 swords of Sword Prodigy appeared. The sword qi of Ling Tianho merged with them, and with a single flick of his finger, Wang Lin sent them hurtling through the red glow, charging towards the second primordial spirit. If you want to fight, then fight. Wang Lin thought to himself. He no longer chose to flee. Although the distance to the deep corridor below wasn't far, the resistance here was too great, making it almost impossible to pass through. Moreover, with the second primordial spirit's bone-deep presence, Wang Lin's anger was provoked. The 3 talents sword formation roared out. The evil souls of the rat, pig, and sheep beasts emerged atop the 3 swords. These swords now fused with Ling Tianho's sword qi, cutting through the lightning net while releasing intense sword energy, furiously attacking the second primordial spirit. The second primordial spirit of the Greedy Wolf was bathed in a dazzling crystal light. His eyes grew serious. With a flick of his hand, he struck the thunder all in the air, and immediately, a thunder dragon roared out, circling around him. As the 3 talents sword formation neared, the evil souls shot forward, entangling and tearing at the electric dragons. The 3 talents sword formation continued to surround him, suddenly striking forward, but it was blocked by the electric dragons, unable to penetrate deeply into the second primordial spirit's body. Without Ling Tianho's sword qi, the second primordial spirit of the greedy wolf would not have been so cautious. But the sword chi on these three swords made him highly wary, not allowing any of it to enter his body. Instead, he continually used the electric dragons to block the swords, trying to wear down the sword chi. On the second primordial spirit's forehead, a mark gradually began to appear as he continuously wielded the thunder awl. This mark grew deeper, slowly flickering. Wang Lin was enveloped in blood-red light. Without the sword chi of Ling Tianhou clearing the way, he could clearly sense the overwhelming resistance below. He leaped upwards, propelled by a surge of force, and his speed was many times faster than when he had descended. He darted through the electric net, heading straight for the second primordial spirit. The blood-red glow around his body had almost entirely dissipated at this point. He had to keep taking out and crushing blood jade slips to continue their protective and buffering effects. Without the protection of the blood glow, even with the million seals of life guarding him, he would still face life and death in this web of electric lights. Back then, that gray-robed Tian Yunzi said that the seal of life defense was incredibly strong. It would indeed be effective against ordinary divine arts, but when facing a higher cultivation, it's completely useless. If not for the incomplete slaughter immortal art, then that gray-robed Tian Yunzi deceived me. His gaze locked onto the mark on the second primordial spirit's forehead. This is the greedy wolf's control mark for the second primordial spirit. Destroy it. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with brilliance. The surrounding electric net was dense and moved with him. As they crossed each other, their power grew stronger. But at that very moment, a cold gleam flashed in the second primordial spirit's eyes. Instantly, the electric net surrounding Wang Lin began to shrink. Countless lightning bolts converged on Wang Lin's position. In that moment, Wang Lin decided to give up defense. His eyes flashed red as he shouted, "All right, today either you die, or I perish." The three talents sword formation sped up, as if sensing Wang Lin's killing intent. The sword chi of Ling Tianhou flared out, becoming even sharper. "Freeze!" Wang Lin roared, casting the immortal art of immobilization with all his might in that instant. The second primordial spirit's arm, which had been swinging the thunder awl, suddenly froze. "Kill!" Wang Lin's eyes burst with intensity as he roared. In an instant, the three talents sword formation's sword chi reached its peak. With a single moment of release, the three swords cut through the thunder dragons, all of them piercing into the second primordial spirit's body, even passing completely through it. Ling Tianhou's sword chi relentlessly surged into the second primordial spirit's body, wreaking havoc on its spiritual form. The second primordial spirit of the greedy wolf trembled. The mark on its forehead flickered wildly, spreading across its entire body, trying to resist. At that moment, the electric net that had been trapping Wang Lin began to collapse, turning into scattered red light that disappeared. Wang Lin rushed out. He slapped his storage pouch, and the demon armor appeared around him. As the demonic aura dispersed, he suddenly pointed, summoning demon transformation, with the demonic energy swirling as it rushed out. At the same time, Wang Lin pointed again, and the netherworld finger shot out. As the netherworld finger extended, Tao manifestation was embedded within it, following closely with the demon transformation finger as they both shot forward. With two divine arts at his disposal, Wang Lin stepped forward, moving with such force that his speed was propelled. In just a few steps, he arrived next to the second primordial spirit. The divine arts followed Wang Lin's every move, all imprinting onto the second primordial spirit's body. "Explode for me." Wang Lin's eyes turned blood-red as he shouted. The mark on the second primordial spirit's forehead flickered violently. As it spread throughout its body, it tried to reverse its fate, but under the two divine arts from Wang Lin's fingers, it was struck once more with the force of 10,000 pounds. Finally, the mark shattered. As the seal of life collapsed, so did the body of the second primordial spirit, cracks appearing on its crystal-clear surface. However, in that very instant, Wang Lin's expression shifted, and his right hand called back the three talents sword formation, quickly retreating. A primordial aura surged from the cracks in the body of the second primordial spirit, releasing a terrifying pressure, a beastly might. The three scattered demon souls on the three talents sword formation immediately trembled. At the abyss entrance, Greedy Wolf, who had been battling with Zhou, suddenly changed his expression. His body swayed, spitting out a mouthful of blood, staring in horror at the scene below. This! With a deafening boom, the body of the second primordial spirit shattered, but just as it collapsed, a green light shot out from its forehead, a dense primal aura spreading from within the light. As the green light emerged, it instantly transformed into a green dragon. This dragon, its entire body coursing with lightning, was incredibly shocking. Named the Primordial Thunder Dragon, it was renowned for its might. Back when Greedy Wolf was still in the Foundation establishment stage, he had once fallen off a cliff and discovered the unconscious infant spirit of the Thunder Dragon in a cave. He had carefully hidden it away, and whenever danger approached, the dragon's aura would protect him. Later, Greedy Wolf found an abandoned magical artifact in a seemingly ordinary market. Upon further research, it turned out to be a primordial demon artifact. He had sealed the Thunder Dragon with the imprint, preventing it from fully awakening, keeping it under his control forever. Only when he reached the pinnacle of cultivation did he dare to refine it, transforming it into the second primordial spirit. Yet, he still did not dare to provoke the artifact, fearing that if the Thunder Dragon truly awakened, it would break free of his control. The green dragon's eyes opened, and a true dragon's roar echoed from its mouth. In that moment, the heavens and earth changed color, the winds and clouds surged, and even the resistance of the abyss was violently pushed away. Wang Lin gave a bitter smile, and without hesitation, he quickly fled, using the force from the push to distance himself from the green dragon. Greedy Wolf. Greedy Wolf. This person truly has treasures all around him. Even his second primordial spirit is a dragon. The ancient god Two Seas cauldron, which he crafted long ago, has also fallen into his hands. His cultivation is so high, truly a person blessed by heavenly fate. Wang Lin smiled bitterly. Little did he know, when Greedy Wolf was 8 years old and had not yet begun cultivating, he had dug up a 500-year-old yellow essence while playing. After bringing it home and roasting it, he ate it and survived, laying the foundation for his cultivation. As the green dragon roared, its eyes emitted a cold light. In an instant, it locked onto Wang Lin, remembering the previous grudge. Although it had just awakened, it still recalled the hatred, and without hesitation, its body shifted into green light and charged towards Wang Lin. Rushing into the depths of the abyss, Wang Lin immediately saw the vast pit ahead. Powerful suction force emanated from within, and mist began to spread. The roar of the green dragon and the gust of foul wind reached his ears, and Wang Lin's face darkened. He clenched his teeth, eyeing the deep pit, and without hesitation, he leaped straight into it. Just as the green dragon howled behind him, its head still in a state of chaos from its recent awakening, it acted purely on instinct. Upon seeing Wang Lin enter the pit, it followed without a second thought. The suction in this pit was unlike that outside. It was stronger. Wang Lin knew this from past experiences, so upon jumping in, he immediately used all his immortal power to cling to the edges. The deeper he went, the stronger the suction became. The green dragon, struggling against the force, was momentarily able to resist with the lightning on its body. Just as it was about to charge out, it suddenly flicked its massive head and saw Wang Lin, carefully controlling his descent. The dragon roared, not charging out as it had intended, but instead, it lunged directly towards Wang Lin. Wang Lin's face grew even darker as he cursed inwardly. This dragon truly doesn't know when to quit. Feeling the suction pulling him in, he increased his pace, his body accelerating downward. The green dragon missed its target and let out another roar, pursuing him once more. A man and a dragon chased each other deeper into the pit, and gradually, Wang Lin realized the suction was intensifying at an alarming rate, as though a storm were brewing. Behind him, the green dragon roared again, opening its mouth wide. A massive thunder orb shot out, heading straight for Wang Lin. The thunder orb carried the force of a heavenly tribulation, crashing toward Wang Lin. His eyes flickered with cold light as he prepared to dodge, but at that moment, the thunder orb suddenly halted, veering slightly downward from its original trajectory. Wang Lin's expression changed. He immediately sensed an unimaginable suction coming from the bottom of the pit, swirling violently. Without hesitation, he slapped his storage pouch, and the three talents sword formation shot out, embedding itself in the pit wall. Wang Lin clutched it tightly. The moment his hands grasped the sword, the suction erupted. The thunder orb, now changing its course, plummeted straight downward, roaring as it was pulled into the depths of the abyss. The thunder orb emitted a flash of lightning, illuminating the area below in an instant. Wang Lin looked down and saw what seemed like an endless abyss, so deep that the bottom was out of sight. Soon, the lightning grew faint and disappeared from his view. The primordial thunder dragon froze, its eyes showing fear for the first time. It stopped considering swallowing Wang Lin and instead struggled to fly upwards in terror. It seemed to have seen something similar in its ancient memories. With a deafening roar, lightning crackled around its body, and it broke free from the pull of the suction force slightly, rising 3 zhang. Trying to escape, Wang Lin's face darkened with coldness. If it weren't for the Thunder Dragon's interference, he would never have been forced into this place. If the Thunder Dragon hadn't relentlessly pursued him, Wang Lin could have fled earlier. But now, at this distance, Wang Lin couldn't escape. Freeze! Wang Lin growled, channeling his immortal power. The immortal immobilization art was suddenly unleashed. In the past, even if the Thunder Dragon was immobilized, it could break free instantly without any trouble. But this time, it was different. The Thunder Dragon's body halted momentarily, and a furious roar came from its mouth. The immense suction force pulled at it, dragging it down more than 10 zhang. You can't escape. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with cold light. His own body was also being pulled down by the force, quickly sinking. The 3 talents' sword formation scraped along the pit's walls, sparking and leaving deep gashes. Freeze! Wang Lin activated the technique again. The Thunder Dragon struggled, its body flashing with lightning as it tried to fight back. Without Wang Lin's immobilization, it might have managed to break free. But now, every time it tried to move, Wang Lin immediately used his technique again. The suction force enveloped the dragon, and no matter how hard it struggled, it was futile. The Thunder Dragon's attacks, too, were swallowed by the deep pit before they could even get close. It could only stare at Wang Lin, helplessly pulled deeper into the abyss. Suddenly, the suction force intensified, growing several times stronger. The force felt as though Wang Lin's arms would tear apart. He gripped his divine sword tightly as the 3 swords scraped along the walls, emitting sparks and leaving deep marks. However, the suction was so powerful that the buffering effect of the 3 swords was quickly fading. In the midst of this crisis, Wang Lin gritted his teeth, splitting off a portion of his primordial spirit and sending it into his storage pouch. The moment his primordial spirit activated, the immortal sword and crescent blade flew out, embedding themselves into the pit walls beneath his feet. Wang Lin stepped on them and was rapidly pulled downward. A sizzling sound echoed as 5 deep grooves formed, with Wang Lin sinking deeper into the pit, each mark vivid along the walls. The Thunder Dragon, despite its struggles, fell like a shooting star, its body unable to remain solid in the suction force. It transformed back into green vapor, stretched long as it was drawn down. The green vapor flickered with a faint blue light, and one end of it was sucked deep into the pit, faintly illuminating the surrounding darkness. Down! The eerie female voice once again echoed from Wang Lin's storage pouch, reverberating through his mind. Wang Lin's expression darkened, but as he looked down, something caught his eye. Using the dim light from the green vapor, he could just make out a shadow extending out from below. The blue light flickered, slightly illuminating the shadow. Wang Lin immediately recognized it. A large stone, 10 zhang in size, with a teleportation array on it. Before Wang Lin could examine it further, the blue light grew faint, and the stone faded back into the black mist. Teleportation array. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened. Unfortunately, he couldn't extend his divine sense here, or he would have seen everything clearly. Suddenly, Wang Lin felt his immortal sword slip from under his feet, followed by the crescent blade. A crack. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with joy. Without hesitation, he swung his body toward the pit wall. He quickly sank deep into the wall, and just as he had expected, he found a 1-zhang-wide crack. Wang Lin fell into it and immediately activated his spiritual energy to retrieve the 3 talents sword formation, Immortal Sword, and Crescent Blade as fast as possible. The Thunder Dragon's spirit, now in its green vapor form, saw Wang Lin entering the crack. It immediately began to struggle. The green vapor swirled and condensed at the top, transforming into the shape of the primordial Thunder Dragon, roaring and charging toward the crack where Wang Lin had gone. But this time, it wasn't trying to swallow Wang Lin. It was trying to escape the suction force. It unleashed all its thunder energy, madly pushing forward. However, the suction force was too powerful. The Thunder Dragon couldn't get close. Its eyes revealed a determined look. Suddenly, its body split in two. The lower half sucked back into the pit, while the upper half used the opportunity to rush into the crack. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with cold light. Just as he breathed a sigh of relief inside the crack, he saw the Thunder Dragon charging after him. At this moment, all he needed was one more immobilization technique to make the Thunder Dragon lose hope and be consumed by the force. The Thunder Dragon clearly knew this as well. As it charged forward, it opened its mouth, preparing to unleash a thunder orb. If it were to be released, there would be nowhere for Wang Lin to dodge within the rift. It seemed that the moment had come to see which of the man or dragon could unleash their divine abilities faster. However, Wang Lin had a different plan. He had just witnessed the dragon sever part of its own body, and at this moment, most of its energy was diverted to resisting the suction force. This was the dragon's weakest point. Wang Lin gritted his teeth, his eyes sharp with determination. Without hesitation, he closed his eyes, and his primordial spirit shot out from his brow in an instant. At the very moment the Thunder Dragon was about to unleash its thunder orb, Wang Lin's primordial spirit devoured it in one go. Wang Lin, once a soul devourer, had the ability to devour all souls in the world. However, as his cultivation deepened, this divine ability had been gradually sealed. Now, his primordial spirit transformed into an infinite entity, and in the stunned gaze of the Thunder Dragon, it swallowed the dragon's spirit. After devouring the spirit of the ancient Thunder Dragon, Wang Lin's primordial spirit quickly returned to his body. In that moment, an explosive force surged within him, causing a deafening explosion within his primordial spirit. The ancient Thunder Dragon, even in the form of half a spirit body, contained unimaginable power. After Wang Lin's primordial spirit consumed it, he activated his soul-devouring technique, rapidly absorbing its energy. Electric arcs surged through Wang Lin's primordial spirit, crackling with the power of lightning. The electric energy even seeped into his blood and veins, causing his body to flicker with electric light, as though he were standing in the heart of a thunderstorm. The external suction force had little effect on the rift, as Wang Lin's entire focus was absorbed into his primordial spirit, relentlessly absorbing the power. His primordial spirit grew stronger, not in quantity, but in quality. Surrounded by arcs of electric light, within Wang Lin's primordial spirit, an ancient Thunder Dragon could be seen winding through the veins, like the body's meridians, stretching and slithering inside the primordial spirit. The dragon appeared in agony, even showing a trace of fierceness. Small branches of energy extended from the dragon's body, spreading throughout Wang Lin's primordial spirit. The dragon's power filled every corner, altering Wang Lin's primordial spirit in a strange way. Devouring the ancient Thunder Dragon was something even the likes of Tian Yunzi and others dared not attempt. Unlike other ancient beasts, the ancient Thunder Dragon was born from the very essence of lightning and was a favored creature of the Tao of Heaven. In ancient times, it had even wielded the power of thunder on behalf of the Tao of Heaven. To devour the ancient Thunder Dragon was akin to swallowing the very thunder of the heavens. Could a cultivator's primordial spirit withstand such thunderous power? But fortune lies in danger, and opportunities are found in perilous situations. Wang Lin's primordial spirit, surrounded by the light of the Thunder Dragon, formed a vast amount of lightning within his physical body. With a thunderous roar, lightning even began to appear within his primordial spirit, adding to its power. His primordial spirit was undergoing an unbelievable transformation. While this change might not immediately boost his cultivation, It opened a boundless path for Wang Lin's future. The primordial spirit infused with thunder. This was a level of existence that even Tian Yunzi had never encountered in all his years of experience. Within the primordial spirit, the thunder dragon struggled violently, affecting Wang Lin's primordial spirit. It did not surrender, but instead fought back. The thunder dragon's refusal to yield turned the devouring process into a perilous battle, with the dragon continuously struggling. The more it struggled, the brighter the electric light became. The powerful electric light pushed Wang Lin's primordial spirit to the brink of collapse. If not for his unyielding willpower, he would have been consumed by the energy, his primordial spirit dissipating. Suddenly, Wang Lin's primordial spirit opened its eyes, releasing arcs of electric light, reminiscent of the ancient thunder dragon itself. He had a premonition. If his primordial spirit stayed within his body any longer, his physical form would be directly affected, leading to the destruction of his life force. In an instant, his primordial spirit rushed out of his body, his face filled with resolve. Without hesitation, his right hand shot into his body and grasped the dragon's long, meridian-like form. With a single pull, he dragged out half of the thunder dragon's spirit. The dragon roared, and lightning surged, crackling as it spread across the walls around him. Wang Lin's primordial spirit's cold glare flickered. With a wave of his left hand, numerous restrictions appeared and were imprinted onto the thunder dragon's half-spirit. After doing so, Wang Lin loosened his grip and once again reached into his body to grab another segment, continuously placing restrictions on the creature. With external force aiding his primordial spirit, he sealed and devoured in a continuous cycle. How much time passed, Wang Lin no longer knew. He was completely immersed in the fusion process, forgetting everything else. His physical body began to lose its glow, slowly becoming withered, yet it did not die. It was as if it was in a dormant, death-like state, preserving its life force. Day after day, year after year, on this particular day, the primordial thunder dragon within Wang Lin's primordial spirit no longer struggled with the same intensity, though it still resisted. Countless seals and restrictions covered the entire body of the dragon, flickering continuously, forming layers upon layers of dragon scales. As time passed, Wang Lin's primordial spirit gradually shrank, eventually condensing into a form only 3 feet tall, resembling the infant soul of a cultivator. Though smaller, it radiated a fierce thunder might. His primordial spirit no longer shimmered with the same clarity as before, but emitted endless lightning, as if thousands of silver serpents were writhing around it. Wang Lin opened his eyes. Thunder rumbled in the surroundings, and 2 bolts of lightning shot out from his eyes, like dragons darting toward the rift, disappearing into the pitch-black void. His primordial spirit floated and gradually moved toward his physical body. Upon glancing at his body, his eyes flickered with lightning, exuding a cold and oppressive aura, as if it were a cycle of reincarnation. His physical body had nearly completely withered, the muscles almost entirely shriveled, leaving him nothing more than skin and bone, resembling a skeleton. If not for a faint trace of vitality in the center of his brow, his body would have long been dead. His primordial spirit floated above his body and began to merge with it. However, as it sank in, he felt a membrane-like barrier. Fortunately, this barrier dissipated after a moment, allowing his primordial spirit to enter the sea of consciousness. In an instant, lightning surged from Wang Lin's physical body, coursing through his entire form. His muscles rapidly regenerated, visibly returning to normal in the blink of an eye, though slightly thinner than before. Wang Lin let out a deep breath of grayish air, which contained a faint trace of lightning. His eyes, bright as lightning cutting through the darkness, reflected deep contemplation. This journey was dangerous, but the gains far exceeded expectations. I don't know whether it's good or bad. My primordial spirit has been completely transformed, almost assimilated. It now feels more like a bolt of heavenly thunder. Wang Lin's expression darkened as he raised his head and looked out toward the rift. The transformation of my primordial spirit into thunder is quite fascinating. Now, trying to destroy my primordial spirit would likely be akin to destroying heavenly thunder itself. Though my cultivation remains at the early stage of ascension, This opportunity has granted me the power of thunder. Wang Lin raised his right hand, and lightning flashed. Soon, a thunder orb formed in his palm, emitting explosive sounds, as if it were unstable. Moments later, the orb shattered. Wang Lin's gaze flashed, and he opened his mouth to swallow it. His face flushed red as he gradually returned to normal. Still, what is my primordial spirit now? Wang Lin's face showed confusion. He never expected that swallowing half a dragon would cause such a strange change in his primordial spirit. The thunder dragon had not been fully absorbed. Only 1/5 had been refined, while the rest remained sealed within his primordial spirit. After a brief silence, Wang Lin tried out his divine abilities, finding that all of them were still usable. Even Dao Transformation Yellow Spring remained unaffected. He let out a relieved breath. But immediately, he sensed something different. While his divine abilities seemed unchanged on the surface, a deeper inspection revealed that they now contained a powerful thunder might. A strong thunder might. Wang Lin furrowed his brow. The enhancement of his divine abilities was a good thing, and the power was immense. With his current abilities, he could rival the middle stages of ascension, and with the aid of magical artifacts, he could even stand his ground in the later stages of ascension. Yet, something still felt off, as if he had forgotten something important. He pondered for a long time, the sensation lingering. Standing up, Wang Lin moved toward the rift. Outside was a pitch-black void, with howling winds and the eerie sound of suction, growing louder the closer he got to the exit. Staring out at the rift, suddenly, a flash of insight struck Wang Lin, like a bolt of lightning. I just realized why there was that strange sensation when my body merged with my primordial spirit earlier. Why was there a membrane? Wang Lin's face darkened. The scattered demon soul was sealed within his primordial spirit, and it was impossible for anyone to take over his body. His physical appearance didn't suggest any external possession either. It seems the problem lies with my primordial spirit. Wang Lin's primordial spirit stirred as he prepared to leave his body again, but then he froze. My primordial spirit cannot leave my body. Wang Lin quickly stepped back, sitting down cross-legged. After several attempts, he opened his eyes. Instead of panic, his expression was one of calm contemplation. It's that membrane again, blocking my primordial spirit from leaving my body. Could this be the price of the transformation of my primordial spirit? Wang Lin exhaled deeply. Forget it, I won't think about this for now. Let me see what abilities this token has, that it can actually form from the mist. Wang Lin tapped his storage pouch, and in an instant, a purple token appeared in his hand.